The year is 53 BCE, and the Roman world is on fire. Just months after Julius Caesar's assassination in the Eternal City, his adopted son Octavian, better known to history as Augustus, is preparing for war. Not in Rome, oh no, but in the east, along the desolate Mesopotamian plains. A Roman army is in full retreat before a force of horse archers from a formidable foe, the Parthians. They are led by a cunning general named Surenna, and the Romans are led by a hot-headed tribune named Marcus Licinius. You might know him as one of Caesar's assassins. So when I say that things aren't going well for Rome, I mean they're really not going well. And while the Romans do manage to escape certain annihilation, their victory is hollowed out by the disastrous loss of an entire legion, swallowed up by the unforgiving desert with no trace. Ever since this cataclysmic event at the Battle of Carrhae, questions have plagued historians about what happened next. Where did they go? Who were they? And why have we found absolutely nothing about them? Join us as we look at one of history's greatest mysteries, Rome's deserted legion, only here on the channel. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, Masterworks. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's get some background before we jump into the meat of our mystery. Our story starts in the mid-1st century BCE. Under the leadership of Julius Caesar, the Roman Republic had carved out vast territories across the Mediterranean and beyond. As part of this effort, Rome established many client states, kingdoms, and protectorates, which often served as buffers between the Republic and potentially hostile powers. Parthia, located in what is today Iran, was one such state. However, their relationship was tense, and over the decades, it steadily deteriorated. In 83 BCE, Mithridates VI, the king of Parthia, began to assert greater independence from Rome, marking a significant shift in the balance of power in the region. By the time Crassus arrived on the scene, simmering tensions had boiled over into open conflict. While the exact details are shrouded in antiquity, historians generally agree that Rome sought to reassert its dominance over Parthia, with Crassus leading a substantial force into enemy territory. However, he underestimated his adversary, both the Parthians and their renowned cavalry. When Crassus' legions met the Parthians in battle, their opposing tactics proved to be a disastrous mismatch. The disciplined, heavily armored Roman infantry, accustomed to close combat, struggled to counter the swift hit-and-run tactics of the horse archers. Their bows proved deadly at long range, and their curved swords were a match for the legion's traditional short swords. Furthermore, the Parthian kings had cleverly exploited their knowledge of the local terrain, employing guerrilla strategies that kept the Romans off balance. Before long, Cassius' forces, ill-equipped for the type of warfare they were facing, began suffering heavy losses. Despite initial setbacks, Crassus made a fatal decision to engage the Parthians in open battle at Carrhae in 53 BCE. This proved to be a grave error. As the Roman legions advanced, confident in their own strength, they walked straight into an ambush. It was a classic Parthian trap. In the ensuing chaos, standards were lost, discipline crumbled, and the legions were routed. Accounts from ancient historians like Plutarch and Cassius Dio tell a tale of utter devastation. According to their reports, Roman cavalry panicked and fled, while the infantry fought bravely but were overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Crassus himself fell victim to the Parthian tactic, perishing in the battle. Historians estimate that overall, over 30,000 Romans lost their lives. Amidst this carnage, one particular detail stands out, a fact that has left historians scratching their heads for centuries. Somewhere between 4,500 and 5,000 legionaries disappeared without a trace. they simply vanished from the historical record. To understand the weight this loss had on Rome, it helps to know how their military worked. At its core was the legion, a highly trained and disciplined fighting force of around 5,000 men. Each legion was subdivided into smaller units for greater efficiency and organization. When Crassus' 3 legions met their demise at Carrhae, an estimated 15,000 men were killed, leaving approximately 10,000 survivors. Yet Roman records from the time make no mention of any captured soldiers, suggesting that those 5,000 men simply ceased to exist. They were erased from the annals of Rome. This glaring gap in military records has given rise to a multitude of theories over the centuries. So where could they have gone? Why have we found no trace of them? And how much of this story can we actually trust? One theory suggests that the missing legion was taken captive by the Parthians and forced into their military service. Plutarch, in his biography of Crassus, hints at this possibility, stating that many Romans were taken captive and forced to fight against their former comrades. It's plausible that some Romans were held prisoner, possibly serving in auxiliary roles or even as gladiators in Parthian entertainment. The Parthians, known for their equestrian skills and use of mounted archers, might have integrated some of the Roman infantry into their ranks, bolstering their ground forces with disciplined shock troops. This idea is supported by accounts from the 1st century historian Cassius Dio, who mentions Romans fighting against their fellow citizens under the Parthian crown. Furthermore, it aligns with the Parthian custom of incorporating captives into their military structure, a practice designed to strengthen their own ranks with skilled and disciplined fighters. However, there's a catch. The records of Rome make no mention of a contingent of Parthian auxiliary troops, leaving this theory somewhat incomplete. Could it be that the Parthians, proud as they were of their military might, let the Roman legion slip through their fingers, or did the Romans, demoralized by their defeat, flee to distant lands, abandoning their homeland and joining foreign legions instead? We can find clues to support this idea in accounts from distant China. Chronicles from the Han Dynasty mention a mysterious band of disciplined warriors known as the fish scale formation. These warriors are described as having a unique formation style that baffled the Zhongnu cavalry, their nomadic Central Asian adversaries. Some scholars believe that this mysterious band could very well be remnants of Rome's lost legion, transplanted thousands of miles away by the infamous Silk Road. These warriors, possibly guided by merchants and traders, may have sought refuge and new purpose among the Chinese armies, sharing their military expertise in exchange for protection and a chance to rebuild their lives. This intriguing possibility is supported by the fact that Rome maintained extensive trade networks across Asia during this period, providing a potential pathway for the legion to reach China. Additionally, the Han Dynasty's recorded admiration for these foreign soldiers, noting their superior discipline and organization, fits well with the reputation of Roman legions. If true, it would mean that Rome's lost legion didn't die at Carrhae, but survived, thrived, and ultimately played a role in shaping military tactics thousands of miles away. Yet, even if these warriors did reach China, it raises another question. How did they disappear from the historical record of both Rome and Parthia? Was it possible that all 5,000 men managed to escape the notice of both empires? Did they assimilate into local populations, or perhaps perish in the harsh Central Asian deserts, leaving behind no trace? Archaeological evidence could provide crucial insights into the fate of the legion, but so far, concrete findings have been elusive. The vastness of the region and the sands of time have conspired to keep the secrets buried. So what can we say with certainty? The primary sources from the time paint a grim picture of Rome's encounter with the Parthians. The accounts of Plutarch and Cassius Dio vividly describe the carnage at Carrhae and the shocking loss of an entire legion. Yet, they provide few details about the fate of the missing soldiers. While modern historians have put forth various theories, the truth is, we don't know what happened to them. It's entirely possible that they were indeed captured and forced into service, or perhaps they perished in the unforgiving landscape of Mesopotamia. Maybe they did flee to Central Asia, hoping to start anew under the banner of the Chinese. But, without conclusive evidence, these remain just theories. What makes this mystery particularly fascinating is the absence of any substantial evidence in archaeological records. The lack of physical remains or artifacts from the supposed legion further deepens the enigma. Perhaps the legion was captured and absorbed into Parthian society, leaving no tangible legacy behind. Or maybe they did integrate with the Chinese, adopting local customs and disappearing into the broader cultural landscape. As we conclude our exploration of this enduring mystery, we are left with more questions than answers. The Battle of Carrhae was undoubtedly a catastrophic event for Rome, exposing the limitations of its military might against unconventional tactics. The vanishing legion serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of even the mightiest empires and the unpredictability of ancient warfare. Whether they perished in obscurity or lived out their days in distant lands, the fate of Rome's lost legion continues to captivate the imagination. As historians, we may never know for sure what happened to them, but that doesn't mean we stop asking questions or searching for answers. After all, it's in the pursuit of the unknown that we uncover the most fascinating chapters of history. Thank you so much for watching. Which theory do you think best explains the disappearance of Rome's lost legion? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe for more exciting tales from history's dusty archives.